Okay, we now turn our attention to the list ADT. It's a very powerful data structure in Python. And here I have a definition. What is a list really? It turns out that a list is a mutable collection of data items. And the data items can be the same or they can be different. Now, what exactly do we mean by this? Well, we know what a collection of data is, just data put together. But when a data collection is mutable, it means that we can change the individual elements within the collection. We're going to come back to this term because it's really important to make this distinction. So let's look at the syntax of a list. It turns out that we create lists. Normally we assign it to a variable. So let us say we have a variable called x, and we're assigning a list to x. Lists are enclosed by square brackets, so we start out with the square brackets there. Let us say this is a simple list that has three numbers, let's say 1, 2, 3, and then we end the list by inserting that close square bracket. So let's look at this syntax here. So we start with the variable x in this case. We have square brackets surrounding the data items, and the data items are separated by a comma. So if I say print x, I'll have my list printed there. Let's define another list. So I'm calling this list days to represent the days of the week here. Again, I'm starting with my square bracket, and I am putting the days of the week in this list. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all the way down to Saturday, and then I'm ending with the closed square bracket. So when I print days, I notice I now have the list there. So that's how we define a list. But what can we do with the list? I'll start first by explaining how we select individual elements in a list. We encountered this before when we look at strings and when we index the list. So in a similar manner to how we index a string, we can index the list. So if I want to index position 0 in list X, it turns out that position 0 is 1. So if you recall, with strings started at position 0 in a similar manner. List will start at position 0. So go back to the list X, we see that this is position 0, 1, and position 2. So if we try to print position 2, it turns out that we're going to get 3. Another thing we looked at when we looked at string is how we can use negative index with the list. And we said that list starts by indexing the list from -1 in the reverse order. So if we examine the list days, it turns out that Saturday will be stored in position -1, then Friday -2, Thursday -3. So if we print position -4, we're expecting to see Wednesday. So that is a list, a mutable collection of data items. The data items can be similar or different, and we can index the list. In the next video, I'll talk about some list operations and other things that we can do with lists.